Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 727 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob, Commander Taco Malda, and I am, of course, joined by Chris DeBona.
Hi.
And Rob Roseboom.
Oh, hello.
Happy Friday. Are we happy?
Hi.
I'm relatively content that passes for happy here.
It's the last day of school, so this is my last chance to be happy. In 2 hours, that's the end of happy until school starts again.
Poor thing.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, it's fine. Have kids, they say. Makes your life richer and more fulfilled, right? It's great.
You'll love it, they say.
Yeah. Well, all right. The first thing that we got on the list is Quake on the Game Boy Advance. The Game Boy Advance does not have a lot of CPU power, but there's a fine fellow on the intertubes who ported Quake, but he didn't port it. He rewrote the engine in assembly.
Wow.
So
that's kind of amazing.
It is kind of amazing, and it takes real wads, so you can actually play the original levels. And I mean, it's never something you would ever want to do, but holy cow, mad props. That is hacking skill right there.
I hate to be that guy, but he could do it on the original Game Boy. I mean, lame.
Yeah, right? It would have been so cool if it only had 4 shades of gray.
Right.
Or green.
This is wonderful work, though. I admire one.
Yeah, I'm super impressed. There's like I love that Doom and Quake, because of their position in history and because of the fact that the source code for those things was released, have become like a yardstick upon which we measure both new and old hardware and hacker chops.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm just remembering how many hours I spent playing this in Doom, watching that.
Yeah.
Days of my life wasted.
I remember when I was quite young, the first time that I played Doom online over a modem against, do you remember Dave DeMage? I think I was playing against his little brother, and his little brother kicked my ass. And the reason he kicked my ass, and I didn't know this at the time, he had a mouse. I didn't have a mouse. I was playing with a keyboard.
Seriously?
Well, I was in like 9th grade. All right. There's a story. Samsung caught cheating in TV benchmarks. This one is just one of those to make Rob angry kind of stories. This Rob, not that Rob. Basically, they have some sort of detection built into the Samsung screens to detect when test patterns are being displayed. And when they detect the test patterns, they're optimizing in order to score higher on the benchmarks. Like, no excuse. Like, you're garbage.
This is very Samsung. That's all I'm gonna say.
Is it? I feel like everybody cheats, but this is particularly egregious. It's, and like, they're caught, they're busted, they admitted it. They're gonna do some patches. And it was a lot too. It was like it was exaggerating the nits on their HD content by from 2300 to 1300. Don't quote me on that.
Which is a lot.
A lot. Wow. Yeah, it wasn't a little
bit. Like a spotlight, you know?
Yeah. It wasn't.
Yeah, that's just not polished. That's like that's a lie.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah, boosts peak brightness momentarily by up to 80%. Like, that's super, super uncool. But I don't know. That was my get angry story for the week. Well, no, that's not true. January 6 hearings were my get angry for the week.
Was that your get your fire up thing?
Not on purpose.
They're a treat, aren't they? Yeah.
You know what depresses me about them, and I don't want to dwell on it, but nothing's gonna happen.
Well, no. If you haven't made up your mind already one way or another, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Yeah, no amount of no factual evidence is going to change your mind.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's sad.
The thing is, I kind of look at it like the voting thing. This is for the 100,000 people in this country who haven't made up their mind or haven't, at least aren't leaning towards one side or another yet. And that's who we fight for now.
Yep.
We fight for those 100,000 people who, for whatever reason, haven't formed an opinion.
Right. But it's like 5,000 of them in one very specific district, and then another 3,000 of them in another very specific district. Everything else is just carved up and decided. Because this is democracy. This is what our founders envisioned.
That's what they told me when they got into their time machine.
That's what I learned when I was in middle school, and that's what they tell us now. Well, ever since Anton Scalia told us that we're all supposed to interpret the Constitution as it was written back then, we have to accept that this is democracy.
Well, it's funny because Clarence Thomas was telling me that Jefferson's original perspective on OLEDs versus QLEDs is really revelatory.
The founding fathers were pretty
thoughtfulness,
anti-Samsung.
Yeah.
Well, there was the Federalist paper, Texas Instruments v. Samsung.
Yeah.
Federalist paper number 69.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard about any of that. I just know Ginny has told me about the Nazi base on the moon that the Democrats are running. So.
Yeah, for sure.
And their barges off Mare Imbrium.
Yeah, Iron Sky was a documentary.
Yep. Captain America's up there in charge now.
Yeah.
All right, we got a Japanese, the asteroid probe that they got the samples back from.
Acid? Yeah.
Yep, it was doing acid, amino acid. They found 23 amino acids. Went on a trip to an asteroid and back.
Okay. Go ahead, say it.
What?
Say it.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Panspermia. The worst word in all of astronomy.
That is a good word.
It's just kind of gross. It's like jam cracker.
Jam cracker.
There's something that sticks in your throat and you go, ugh. Panspermia. That's how we all came to be. An asteroid brought some DNA and got Earth pregnant with life.
There's an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where they reveal that or whatever, that an ancient civilization was seeded, but the Klingons, the Vulcans, and the humans. I don't remember the name of the episode, but
it's one of my favorites. I love that episode where they find out that we are all from one
common ancestor,
and they spread their DNA across the universe, so they would come. So once they were scientifically advanced enough to meet each other, they could get together and build a greater tomorrow. But everyone decides to fight yet at the end. Yeah. I love it.
That was
the thing about this. You have to realize this was them retconning. Kirk banging with everybody, and the Romulans and the Spock.
I didn't think it was retconning. I think that it was just justifying the fact that all of these things had somehow compatible sex organs.
Yeah, that was pretty iffy. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I get what they were trying to say about society, and I laud that, but the idea that there can be millions of evolution so parallel across these places where the only change is a little pointy ear and you can interact and have children together is pretty weak.
Well, that moment resonated with me, with teen me, really well. Like that, I remember that just as being like, wow, this Star Trek thing, it's way more than just like a TV show, man.
Yeah,
dude.
Man, that made me real. Anyway, yep, they've got some amino acids. It's exactly they say pretty much exactly what you would expect, which is we don't know exactly what it means, but it might mean something.
And they wish that Elon Musk would stop trying to come over and smoke the acid.
Chris, you don't smoke acid.
It's been a long time since I was a teenager or a billionaire,
right?
Space guy,
right? Yeah. Since we're on Elon Musk, SpaceX employees have drafted an open letter denouncing Elon Musk's behavior. Shocked.
Well, that
how many employees? Like 50 of the 50,000?
This article didn't have like a final signature count. But they did state that the Twitter threads or the Discord threads, I can't remember what their system was, but that
they said that they have a Teams channel with 2,600 employees.
Yeah. They said that
that's not the same as having that many signatories.
Yeah, this article did not have like an ultimate number of signatories stated, but it did say something like 50 replies Which, of course, 50 out of 2,300 ain't going to do anything. If you shoot 50-50, maybe you got a chance. But executives don't care about 2% of their employees. Nothing matters.
I wonder if like there'd been a Slack channel at Hughes Aviation, and we're really embarrassed by Hughes's habit of not cutting his toenails and collecting the clippings and caring about with the actresses. We have a call for Hughes to separate himself from Hughes Aviation. It's like, I don't know, guys.
Yeah, I suspect that it's not going to work out ultimately.
Yeah.
It's just like, nothing ever changes.
There'll be a separation. It just won't be Elon.
No. Well, let's see. Well, we've got a story about another beaver incident.
Oh yeah. Well, this is very on brand for us.
Yeah.
This just reminds me of, remember the great brownout that we had here a couple of years ago, where we were Detroit all the way past Ann Arbor was out of power for like 4 or 5 days.
That was last summer, and it was like the last 2 weeks of summer, and it was like, I think I was out for like 6 days or 7 days.
It was that was due to a squirrel. So I love how fragile some of these things can be, because that thing ruined like half of northern British Columbia.
Yeah.
Point of personal privilege. Are their teeth orange like that?
Yeah.
Because that was the picture in the article, and that's pretty intimidating.
Right. Beavers are cool.
Wow, the presence of Northwest BC without internet, landline, and cellular service.
He dropped a tree. He dropped a tree on stuff, and it ruined everything.
Wow.
Perfect shot. Hit a bunch of things with it.
Oops.
Good going, Beaver.
When the beavers rise up, it's going to be real, man.
Well, they come from underneath. From underneath, they devour.
From below.
You wake up, try to go outside to find out that you're damned in. That's right. It's gonna be something.
So I wouldn't be a rich man if I had a nickel for every beaver outage. I do have it. I'm picturing like the folksy, sort of British Columbian who gave that quote. He's probably wearing a toque and flannel.
All right. And I just figured they're big Letterkenny fans.
And this was his big shot. This was his big shot. 15 minutes. Where so they go and they ask him about the beaver.
Bertha, they're asking me about the beavers.
Mr. Gammer, it says here that you're in charge of the crews that look after beaver-style attacks on our infrastructure. Yeah, that's right, I do. So
why are our accents? Our accents are not Canadian at all.
Yeah, they went the opposite way.
Yep. They're Southern Canadian. I don't know, man. I just have a picture. I think that Bob Gammer is one of the best Bob Gammers in Bob Gammer. Good for you, Bob.
Fair enough. We've now seen, at long last, I know you've been waiting to see pictures of Ryan Gosling as Ken. In the upcoming Barbie movie.
I knew that I had to share this with you all.
Yeah, I was a little shocked that you picked this story. I just want to be clear. This is a DeBona pick.
Yeah. What's weird is they had the Margot Robbie Here I Am as Barbie on the same day, and this was what Chris focused on.
Yep. I will say
they released Margot Robbie as Barbie like weeks ago. Come on, guys, you must be up on that.
I saw the picture, but I will say I think that
she's very pretty,
having the waistband of his underpants visible saying Ken is funny. Like, I think that's very funny.
That's very funny. Yes. I agree that is very funny.
But I'm not so sure about the sleeveless denim jacket.
Well,
I'm just impressed he had his genitals removed for this movie.
He's method.
Well, he's a committed actor.
Yeah. You have to commit.
I hope they paid him a lot.
Yeah, well, I think he gets a new one when it's done. Like, they just reinstall, but he gets to choose like off the shelf, and there's probably some pretty good ones. It's like that episode of Rick and Morty.
Some pretty good ones.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Ryan Gosling, you get to pick from the good drawer.
I guess if anyone gets to choose,
yeah,
Ryan Gosling probably is someone who gets to choose, right?
I didn't really realize, I guess, that he was a Mickey Mouse Club kid.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I saw a picture of the Holy Trinity of Mickey Mouse Club kids, and it was him and
Brittany,
Justin Timberlake and
Christina.
Brittany. Oh, Christina too.
Wow.
Man, there's a lot. They had a
I
good
didn't know
farming system.
Gosling was.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. Well, good on him. Astronomers have detected a dark, free-floating black hole. Which of you guys put this one up? Or was this me?
Chris.
I think I did.
I think it was Chris.
Yeah. We've had some fun black hole news lately, so I just figured it would be kind of cool. So one of the questions is, if dark matter really exists, and black holes have a hard time interacting anyway with the surrounding world, except for around its radius and what it does to gravity as it passes by, right? How do you find such things, right? So that's all. So here's a visualization. I just thought it was cool,
Poor Amble, who's saying that his internet is down. He has to watch Geeks in Space at 480p.
That's fine. I'm doing stutter movements. Sorry.
It's not going to work though because the smooth animation that we're getting off of the YouTubes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pause it. I'm on hotel bandwidth, and everyone was waking up here.
Yeah, you're super crackly.
So, oh, am I?
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. It's awesome. Well, all right. Maybe this will be the thing that has all the missing matter that makes all the astronomers' equations not balance out.
That's the goal,
Wouldn't that be cool?
Sure.
Who wants to move to Alexandria?
If I had unlimited wealth, this might be something I'd buy.
I have an aversion to purchasing a house that hasn't been actively lived in. Because I just think of all the things that aren't working, toilets that haven't been flushed ever. I mean, I'm sure the Walking Dead staff made a point of going around and making sure all their prop houses were finally made.
Okay, this was my question though. Was this?
And they got rid of all the zombies.
Well, for sure the zombies are taken care of. They're not allowed to leave.
Well,
that's a union rule.
Hopefully.
Have you seen the show?
Yeah.
Not in a few seasons.
I don't think you can say all the zombies are gone until you dig up each one of those planter areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's classic zombie hiding place right there.
And look, their crawl spaces. There's no fabric or screens there. At least I don't see them. So beavers have gotten under there. Zombies under here.
For sure, beavers. Beavers have gotten under there.
And they're really proud that they're taking down the zombie retention wall thing at the corner.
No, you pay extra for that.
I don't want it unless the zombie retention wall is
right. I mean, why would you want to take a risk unless you get the cool wall?
Right. I didn't realize, I guess, that those were real houses. I just assumed, I guess, that they would just be shells because, if you're going to film a show like that, I figure you need to have access to it, all day for months on end.
Well, it is interesting because they went to the trouble of making real houses because they knew it was cheaper and easier than building houses inside a big warehouse set. Right, which is actually very costly, and it consumes space that could be used for the next Tyler Perry movie. It's important.
He has his own studio.
They use this for many, many.
I know, but he doesn't want to waste it on Alexandria.
Yeah.
I miss what you said, Rob.
I said they use this for many, many seasons too, so I'm sure it became cost effective for them.
Yeah, for sure it became cost effective. That's an interesting choice to make because I don't think that. Did they film the interiors in those houses? I kind of doubt that.
Yeah.
Oh, really? They filmed the interiors too.
Oh. Yeah. And what it was apparently was it was sort of not a failed subdivision, but I guess they ran out of money midway while making it. I think it was part of that 2008 crash.
It's probably the same thing that my neighborhood had because this was all supposed to be a huge condo expanse, and instead they switched over and said, let's build a dozen homes in this giant area instead.
And let's just list them all as condos. Because that'll be great.
So if you ever need to get a new mortgage or change title or anything, it'll be a nightmare.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't heard the story, when Robert went to refi, they were like, "You live in a condo." He's like, "I don't live in a condo."
I assure you. Well, let's see. The last one that we have on the list today is elephant tramples woman to death.
I'm gonna. I
Yeah.
only saw this in another channel, and so I don't really know a lot about it. But Robert seems to know about it.
Yeah, I briefly read the story. So this lady in India was trampled to death by an elephant, and when they had her funeral, they set up the funeral pyre.
Pedestrians, motorists, and heavy vehicles who use it.
Mute.
Anyway, the elephant showed up at her funeral, grabbed her, and stomped the corpse, threw it around a little bit. So,
Wow. That's a
He
grudge.
hated her a lot.
yeah.
you
So
know.
she must have done something really bad to that elephant. Luckily, in sort of related news this week, also, that court case about the elephant at the Chicago Zoo, whether or not it was a person, they tried another personhood law.
Oh,
They've
really?
done that with chimpanzees and orangutans, but this time they tried it with an elephant, and they ruled this week that the elephant indeed was not a person. So good for the elephant.
Oh.
Otherwise, he could be tried for murder, right?
Oh, that poor elephant's never gonna forget that.
Yeah.
There's so many ads in this
Ugh,
legal ruling.
right? So many ads on the internet. It stuns me
Wow.
how bad it is when I turn my ad blocker off, even for just a few minutes.
Happy arrived at the Bronx Zoo in 1977 with fellow
Oh.
elephant Grumpy, who was fatally injured in a 2002 confrontation with 2 other elephants.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to find elephant with blood on its hooves. What do they call it?
Tusks.
Tusk, I guess you could say.
Because I mean,
Or
I think
feet.
that all these stock photos of happy, elephants being grand and beautiful. We need to find the murder elephant.
I've maybe that's something that you can use that that generative network thing that everybody's making all the weird pictures of these
Oh,
days.
Dolly, yeah, I bet
you,
Dolly can do
yeah,
that.
you could get Dolly to make like angry elephant stomping woman covered with hooves and blood. I don't know. I
You could
bet
probably find a murderous elephant picture. It wasn't too long ago. They figured out poaching had killed so many of the alpha males and the adult males that teenagers never really learned. And they were running around killing rhinoceroses, killing buffalo. They were just rampaging. The way they fixed it is they took an old bull elephant and introduced them to the rogue teenagers, and he whipped them all into shape. He's like, "Hey, knock the shit off. We don't kill rhinoceroses.
it's
If
like
we don't kill stuff. It's drinking."
it's sort of like sending the kids to military school.
Yeah.
Your kids are misbehaving, they're gonna spend some time with Sarge. They'll learn. I caught up with the boys through yesterday's as of yesterday. There's a new
so
episode
I've only
this
seen
morning.
through episode 3.
I'm up to
so
episode
I
4.
apologize. Okay.
So you saw Timothy. We talked about Timothy, and then yeah, I guess I won't spoil episode 4. But I saw episode 4, and I'm caught up to today. And man, that show is just firing on all cylinders this season.
So good. Yeah, they had a couple more videos online, like the behind the scenes at the superhero house. I mean, man, they're great.
The superhero orgy is coming up yet, so
Oh, good
we got
God.
that to look forward to.
Yep.
They
Yep,
have
yep,
part of the plot line is a sort of an orgy island where they all go once a year to work things out.
That'll be fine. They'll have fun.
Star Trek, did everyone see this week's Star
I haven't
Trek
seen
yet, or
this
no?
week's Star Trek yet. I was super busy
Not
yesterday.
yet. I've been traveling so much. I'm caught up through episode 5, so not. So.
I'm
I haven't
sold.
watched the Orville or anything, but I caught Star Trek.
Oh, I watched the Orville
Yeah.
yesterday instead of Star Trek because I wanted the Orville. I'm willing to watch and only pay 70% attention to. Star Trek has proven itself to be good enough that
You
it
wanna pay
gets
attention.
one-on-one. I stare only at one
Orville-
screen.
The Orville's a little dark this year.
I really liked
far.
this week's episode of the Orville. I really liked it. They did sort of the classic Star Trek-y thing where we just go to the nearest set that we have, the nearest place that we can pretend is a set. So I'm not going to spoil too much, but the first scene, they go to a high school. Like a 21st, and it's just populated by high school kids. And they're like, what is going on? What are you? And like, you have to get out of my class. And can you move? I need to get into my locker. But the Orville, I think, has kind of figured out their thing, which is they're doing now they're still doing it. They're doing basically like Star Trek premises from the old school, but like distilled down to their simplest form, like almost childish versions. It's almost for kids, except for the dick and fart jokes and the gore. But I'm really looking forward to the new Star Trek, and there's a new For All Mankind. Did I tell you that For All Mankind last week was awesome? I told you that, right?
Yeah, I haven't had the time to. I was gonna watch it on the airplane, but I just didn't have time.
We told you to watch what? RRR? Did you see that?
I really want to see that. You guys can talk about it. It's not gonna
No,
ruin
we
it.
talked about it already, but I thought there was that was a couple of things that we told you to watch on the plane.
No, I do
Yeah.
want to watch that. Yeah, but that's
Like,
I think it wasn't available in Netflix UK. Some nonsense like that. Yeah.
so, yeah, RRR was amazingly fun. I just don't care for the dance and song breaks, but I understand that that's part of that cinema,
Totally.
right? So,
And I gotta tell you, man, the whole movie, I was like, more dancing. It's so
it
fun.
really reminded me of well, there's a lot of super action Indian movies like that, but usually the budgets are so bad they look terrible.
Yeah.
This reminded me of Crouching Tiger, really,
Yeah.
just like a Indian version of that, because they really get into some mythos and some of the religion stuff.
Yeah,
Actually, pretty interesting.
This was on the line where when the special effects looked bad, they looked bad in a way that just felt stylized.
In a stylized way,
Yeah.
for sure.
And that's the way that you achieve that, like if you don't got the budget, you just got to have style. Miss Marvel this week I thought was again good,
Was it
but
good?
I'm guessing that Rob is noped out.
No, I watched that too. I liked it
What did you
better than
think?
the first one, to be honest with you. It's okay.
It's a
I
kids
haven't
show.
watched it yet.
It's clearly
Not kids shows.
for high school.
They're Disney Plusing it, right? It's the
They're Disney
It-
channeling it.
It's
they're
they've
Mickey Mouse
CW
clubbing it.
they CW'd it. That's what it's
Oh.
like to me. It reminds me so much of Naomi.
I only watched the first one. No, I liked it, and I mean, I don't know, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really, really well done. But it's definitely really weird to go from Moon Knight to this, because Moon Knight has straight up horror in it. Like there's several really straight up horror sequences throughout that show, and it's hard to keep track of. You've got the DID thing. Like there's a lot of thinking to watch Moon Knight. This is so straightforward and easy and for kids, and there's not a lot of mystery really. Like I guess there's mystery about her ancestry, but you know what it is. Like they've set it all up, so it's just a matter of where are they going to put the pieces.
Oh.
Grandma or great grandma got superpowers from somewhere. We'll learn what it is. It doesn't really matter. There was one other thing that was new and good, and I don't remember what. Oh, Kenobi. Did anybody watch Kenobi?
Yeah.
Nope. You go ahead and talk about it.
Ian, Chris is out.
No, I'll be back. I just get a thing.
I feel like this is going to be the episode that's going to divide certain people because of all the flashbacks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Kenobi's fine.
That's how I feel.
Excited about it.
Yeah.
Cliff Lampy had opinions about Kenobi. That they're sort of acknowledging there's no such thing as continuity in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
playing
it's
fast
just-
and loose.
Mostly, my biggest complaint about it, I guess, is just how awful everyone is at their job.
Yeah.
And it's just, if you are gonna run the galaxy, you got to be a little bit better at security and just basic stuff than what they're doing.
Yeah, my problem with it is like a lot of the writing feels a little sloppy. Like this week's episode has a sequence where they line up stormtroopers to shoot a barricade, and like it's big and dramatic and da 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 da, and then she walks up and cuts a hole in it with a lightsaber, and it takes like 1 second. It's like, why'd you do all the rest of that then? Like, are you dumb?
Well, no, it's the Voltron thing, right? You can't go straight
Yeah,
to the sword. You have to
right,
try all the stuff that never works
right.
first.
You
Like,
have
all right, I guess we'll use the sword again.
That's the thing. If I'm in the Black Lion, the first thing I'm doing is like, all right, Red Lion, pull out the sword.
Yeah.
I thought that this week's episode was pretty good by the standards of the show. I think that the show, like, I lump the Star Wars into the bad, the good and the great. This is on the south end of good. But it's totally watchable and totally entertaining and totally popcorn fluff. The main thing for me is it doth not offend, and that to me is the big thing. Like, they haven't done anything so stupid that I'm just like Boba Fett had huge chunks of it where I was just like, this is bad. And
Yeah.
so far, I don't think that any of Kenobi has been bad, save for 2 or 3 of the action sequences, particularly chasing a kid through tunnels or whatever.
Yeah, the Leia, I've been freed from my kidnappers and now I'm gonna run around and try eating stuff on a stick. That whole sequence really bothered me. Other than that, it's nothing terrible. I actually thought that they kind of missed the opportunity. I wish they had introduced his conspirator and her cargo loading droid first or earlier, so you could see the relationship those two have, especially since he really doesn't ever talk.
Yeah.
And there's an almost touching scene at the end, or towards the end of this episode, that I thought, wow, this could have been really powerful.
Yeah.
If you cared about those characters more.
Yeah. This to me really feels like you can feel like they had a plot thread for a movie. And then they're like, all right, well, we got to make 6 episodes out of it, so let's stick 3 more plot threads into it and send them to an adventure of the week a little bit on the way. It really feels like that to me. I thought that they gave Princess Leia like the best line in the whole episode and like a perfect little Leia moment this week that just, and I won't even spoil it because it was so great, but Rob, you probably know which one it was.
Actually, I'm trying to think of what line tickled your fancy.
Well, Leia didn't have many lines, but they used the actress appropriately for her skill set and for her age and for her size. It was really well.
Are you talking about when she's like, do this? She was going to solve the problem, not to give it away.
Yeah, not to solve,
that sequence.
Yeah, the way that they handled that was Princess Leia. Like, that's there's been a couple of lines where I'm like, yep, you are still that character. I buy you as the kid version of that character in that moment.
Sure.
Which is not something that I always did. But no, I'm excited to see how they resolve what's left. But again, the way that they cliffhangered this makes Obi-Wan and Bail Organa seem really stupid. Like, come on, man. If you're doing...
Was Jimmy Smith's there?
Yeah. Well, he's in this episode, he's a voicemail. A hologram voicemail.
He's a hologram.
I'll just spoil it because if anybody hasn't seen it and doesn't care, but they leave a message there where they're basically like, you have to go back to Tatooine to protect the boy, and you're just like, okay, if you are so concerned about the secrecy of this mission, you would not literally say the planet name and the fact that there's a boy.
It's a big planet. He didn't give him the address.
Right. But as far as we can tell, there's only like 4 locations on all of Tatooine.
Yeah, again, people just not very good at their job. I can't believe these people were ever in charge of anything.
Yeah. Maybe it's more accurate than we think about, because I think that we've all, as you age, as you meet more people, you come to realize that the vast majority of people that are pulling the strings at the highest levels of our world are no dumber or smarter than you. They just are in a position because of happenstance, coincidence, and life history. They're not geniuses. They still make the same dumb mistakes.
That is true for the most part. I would agree with you. It just seems like in this series, everybody is like, nobody has gotten a raise on their evaluations
In a
in
while.
years because everyone is awful at what they do.
Come on, Vader. Inflation is 8.9% this quarter. The least you can do is give me a 4% raise. No, the Empire only gives 3% merit raises.
You should thank your lucky stars you're not on a performance improvement plan.
I mean, back when you were a Jedi, a kyber crystal could be purchased for 1 month's salary.
Right.
Now the cost of them.
Inflation in the Empire is a real
Right.
bitch right now.
Yeah, at least we don't have like Zillow buying up all the kyber crystals.
Thanks, Luke.
Way to go, Empire. All right, folks.
Luke.
It's
Thanks, Skywalker.
way to go. I think, Chris, you have a hard stop now, so I think it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye to Chris DeBona.
See ya.
Bye to Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye.
That was Friday Geeks in Space. I was Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I will see you next week. Bye.